Hello everyone, and now we're going to talk about Nourish, the world's healthiest live whole food, and more about live trim. I want you to understand more about our manufacturing process and what our niche is, what makes us unique on the market over all of the other products that are being distributed today. One of the things I need you to be thinking about in the back of your head as I'm showing you these slides is, what is compromised food? Well, compromised food is a perfectly good crop that winds up in a product on a store shelf, and what did it go through to get there? In fact, what did the produce go through that was picked that's even sitting in the produce section of your local store? Keep this in the back of your mind. First, we're going to address the fact that heat and chemical preservatives can kill. This is one of those processes, or many of the processes, that can actually compromise food before it hits the stores. That 107 degree temperature, I also want you to kind of keep in the back of your head, because most all enzymes are killed when heated to 117 degrees within 3 minutes. Now, generally, you've heard, and I don't really think I've met anyone who hasn't heard this, but you're not supposed to overcook your vegetables, because if you do, you're going to end up killing all the good stuff. Well, fact is, enzymes die at 117 degrees after 3 minutes. This is important to consider when you talk about pasteurization. There are a number of juices on the market that are purported to be these really healthy juices that from berries and plants from overseas, and the problem is it's juice. It means it's been pasteurized. Unless the juice came out of your blender, your juicer, or it's fresh squeezed, it's been pasteurized. Even naked juice says gently pasteurized. Well, pasteurization is heat. Pasteurization is the amount of heat that you're going to need to kill microorganisms and bacteria to protect the health of the people buying the juice. And the temperature for that is generally just below boiling for a number of minutes. So if 3 minutes at 117 is the kill point, pasteurization, enough said. But a lot of companies say that they don't heat pasteurize, they flash pasteurize, that they barely just spank it with a little bit of heat, and then they cold filter bottle it, to maintain the integrity of the product. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about science. Flash pasteurization is over 400 degrees. And you raise the temperature, you lower the time, it's doing the exact same thing. Cold filter bottling comes into play because you can't bottle at 400 degrees. Bottles will explode, they'll crack, they'll breach. So you have to cold filter bottle it. That's the only way you can get it in the bottle. So it's not this huge thing that you want to wave a flag about. It's simply a required process to bottling. Freeze drying. If you're not drinking the juices, which are dead, other than sugars and carbs and some fiber, if you're not drinking the juices, you're having powders. Well, how is the powder made? I mean, there are 6 primary ways powder is made, and all of them involve high amounts of heat. A lot of people think freeze drying is this great thing. Well, yeah, freeze dried is great if you're going on a backpacking trip or if you need emergency survival food in case of Armageddon, but freeze drying is actually a heat process. You flash freeze whatever it is you're going to freeze dry, but how do you get the ice crystals to turn to vapor? How do you get the water out of the product? Well, you have to introduce heat. And generally speaking, the heat is 135 degrees infrared heat for a period of 72 hours. So if 117 for 3 minutes is the kill point on enzymes, what do you think 135 for 3 days is? And how is it that if you lower the time and raise the temperature to compensate in the freeze drying process, you can actually burn the material? So if it's that cold, how do you burn things? This isn't your fault. It's simply because companies out there are not telling you about the heat portion of freeze drying. All they're saying is, hey, this powder was made at 50 degrees minus Fahrenheit, but they don't tell you heat was involved. And all the other processes involve heat as well. Spray drying, drum drying. Heat kills. I think you get my point on that. So how does this affect you? Well, think before you eat and drink. Compromised food equals compromised health. If it's pasteurized, it's dead. Enough said. Look at what you're eating at every day. Is the food you're eating designed to sit on a shelf or nourish your body? And are you eating overprocessed, nutritionally dead food? Well, in a naturally perfect live whole food world, you're eating all the fruits and vegetables that you need so you can get your 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables, which of course is going to nourish your body and make you feel better and balance your weight and keep you healthy and the whole thing. But even that can be kind of scary, because let's look at this beautiful apple here. Apples have 10,000 compounds. An enzymatically ripe apple has 10,000 compounds in it, compounds we haven't even named yet. It's very, very healthy. The problem is, if you're buying Washington State apples in early September or late August, they were picked about 9 to 10 to 11 months earlier. They were put in cold storage. hit with carbon dioxide to keep them from oxidizing. They've turned into potatoes, okay? You need to know these things. Tomatoes, big story out of all the corporate industrial tomato plants that are in Florida. These things are deader than a doornail. Secondly, they're treated to have them ripen faster and turn color. That's why sometimes you bite into a tomato and you think you're eating a red tomato, but it tastes like a green tomato. That's because they take things like tomatoes, strawberries, they take bananas, avocados, and other products, and they put them in a pressure chamber, hit them with ethylene gas, or outside the United States, calcium carbide, and it speeds in the process. And, so to me, that's compromised food. So when we start talking about the ingredients within our products, we have to look, first of all, at the farms. We have what we call an InstaFresh process, which is ambient temperature drying. And it's not the only reason that our vegetable and juice powders are of such high quality. You have to look at where our crops are grown. All of the crops that are grown in Utah, like all of the grasses and a lot of the ground vegetables that we use, are grown on land that is very, very pristine. It's basically ancient lake bed. It's Lake Bonneville. There's volcanic soil built in. There's dry lakes that formed even in the 50s from an earthquake that happened. Families started buying up this land, tilling the dirt, and coming up with some of the most pristine organic crops that you could ever want to eat. So we're starting out with great farmland. Well, now let's talk about the InstaFresh process. Let's say it's carrot day. The carrots are picked. They're washed and chopped and juiced on the day that they're ripe, not 2 or 3 weeks before, because they don't have to go to market. And that juice is chilled to a very, very cold temperature. And then what's going to end up happening is non-thermal processing. What it basically is that juice is going to be pumped into an air chamber, and that air is moving very, very fast. And it's below the enzymatic kill point. And within a period of seconds to minutes, we can actually take that fresh juice, turn it into a powder, remove 95% of the water, and maintain 95 to 98% of the enzymes. And there's independent analysis that shows the InstaFresh powders have a far greater enzyme and nutrient retention than any other powders on the market. This is the niche. It's important because of the fact that low temperature processing protects the life-sustaining quality and value of our food. You look at the fact that the bulk inert material, the filler, is removed to provide the highest quality, nutrient-rich, concentrated, life-sustaining food. I mean, when you add water, it's virtually identical to fresh juice. It protects the natural enzymes. We add probiotics. You have your phytonutrients naturally, vitamins and minerals. You're providing a source of fuel for your body and energy and building blocks that your body needs. All of that has been brought together into a new product line we have called Live Trim. This is a weight loss product which is all natural. It's basically a whole food weight loss formula that's been designed specifically for maximum absorption into your body. Now, the system itself is absolutely simple and safe. You've heard some testimonies already on this video of what it's done for people. We've done studies. People have lost within 90 days 40, 50, and 60 pounds. And it's just been exciting. This is real. And I'm going to show you in a second just how real it is to me. But this product, Nourish Live Trim, provides energy, weight control, and vitality. First, what you're looking at with energy is energy to give you mental focus, a brighter mood, no jitters, it's crash-free, more endurance. We're talking about an appetite suppressant, but you have energy to move through your day. You're looking at weight control. This is safe, healthy fat loss. You're going to have less hunger, fewer cravings, lean muscle, improved digestion, amplified metabolism, less stress and balance. And of course, this always leads to vitality. I mean, if you're getting the foods you're supposed to be getting and you're losing weight and you have more energy, you're sleeping better, your immune system's better, you feel better overall. Now, with this, you also end up getting this chart. This is the Live Trim system, which tells you what you're supposed to do at what times. Of course, this will vary depending on body type at times, and never start a program without speaking to your doctor. But I can tell you this is whole food, and it's been quite successful, and there's definitely a plan. It's not just a box of products. Now, when I say it's personal to me, you just heard a testimony from Kathy. Well, let's look at the before pictures again of Kathy, okay? Kidney transplant 7 years ago, not feeling good, never able to shed the weight, always feeling sick. She starts taking the Nourish product line, finishes it off with Nourish Live Trim, taking in these whole foods into her body. And look at her now. She's lost 110 pounds in a year. So yeah, I take this personally. This is an absolutely awesome product line. The components within the product, the materials, are coming from the best farms, the best land, with the absolute best nutritional process called InstaFresh, which brings us to the conclusion of my segment, our proprietary InstaFresh process. Our proprietary formulation and the amount of active ingredients delivered per 10 gram serving, all of this goes together to create the Live Trim product, which is going to change your life. Thank you.